Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Amnesia Memories on Shin's route in Heartworld. And we are confronting Toma about possibly being the person who tried to kill me at the lodge on that first night almost a month ago. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this conversation that we're having in a somewhat secluded place instead of a public place like we should be, and I don't know why. But, alright, you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Well, let me ask you this. Is there really no possibility at all that you went and found her yourself? None. It's impossible. If I had gone and done something to her, I'd have blood on my clothes. That blood pattern. There was blood all over the place. It's not like she had merely been pushed. That person probably tried to pick her up while she was covered in blood, and tried to carry her on their back. They probably put their hands on the wounds on her neck to stop the bleeding. That's the most likely reaction. But if they did all that, it wouldn't have just been their hands that got bloody. They could wash their hands, but not their clothes. And what would happen if they showed up back at the lodge looking like that? It would have been painfully obvious that they had touched her. But I don't fit that bill either. Everyone knows I didn't find her, and I came back to the lodge. By the time you returned, she had been brought back already, and everyone was in a complete panic. If you immediately rushed over to her and held her right away, your clothes would be bloodied instantly. Nobody would notice or care what you looked like a second before. Someone really observant might have. I see. At the very least we know it wasn't you then. But it still doesn't mean it was me. The shoe prints. If they're taken to the police, they can do a comparison. I doubt it. The person in question probably already disposed of their shoes. That's very suspicious of you to say. You do know that I took pictures of them before they were thrown away, right? But the ones from the first time? You only took pictures of the ones from the second time, and they probably would have been thrown away before you guys went the second time. I guess, but there's no guarantee it would serve as sufficient proof. And you can't go by size because probably some of you guys had the same size feet. Then, one more thing. There were two reasons we went back to the lodge. The first was to help bring back her memories. The second was to see the culprit go and search for evidence. If brought back to the scene of the crime, I figured they would go around and check if any evidence remained. But the people who found evidence were me and Sawa. You don't know who was in charge of that search. I do know. I had Sawa record your conversation the whole time. Is he lying? Wow. So you'd actually go that far. Sawa helped us out a lot. The reason Sawa argued with you when you tried to go dispose of evidence that night was because I had her keeping watch. If I was awake in the room with you, you would have been too cautious to try and leave. That's why I asked her. I asked her to wait for a while, and if anyone tried to leave their rooms, to call out to them.
I see. So that's why Sawa was up so late in the same clothes she had worn earlier that day.
I never thought something like that would happen, though. I feel terrible for asking her. Hey, and was that really an accident? Are you sure you didn't shove Sawa down those stairs? Oh, no, don't please tell me, Toma, no. Toma. It was an accident. You almost killed two people by accident.
Was it really, Toma? So, he was found trying to dispose of the evidence by Sawa?
I was just worried about you, and I didn't pay any attention to Sawa's room. I saw that you'd finally fallen asleep, but the moment I left the room, she called out to me. I panicked and ended up elbowing her. I don't think I even hit her that hard, though. Sawa was probably startled and lost her footing and fell down the stairs. I was honestly shocked when it happened. I didn't intend for that to happen at all. I think so too. Even though you hurt her, you panicked and left evidence everywhere. Now that I think about it, I doubt you'd ever be so cold-blooded to try and cover that up. I wanted to come forward and apologize, but I didn't want her to know what I was trying to do. Now I can finally apologize to Sawa. Thanks for figuring it out. It was me, Shin. And what about when you hurt Dirili? Why'd you do it? That was an accident too. I tried to pick her up, but my hand slipped. That's a lie. I'm serious. The reason I didn't admit it was because I lost my chance. By the time I made up my mind to admit everything and return to the lodge, it was already declared an accident. When she regained consciousness in the ambulance, she looked at me and smiled and said thank you. I couldn't say anything. If I brought it up again and came forward, it would just hurt her. I made up my mind to carry the burden of this crime to my grave. Of course, when the suspicion was cast on you, Shin, I thought about coming forward many times. But I firmly believed that the suspicion would be cleared. You were completely innocent after all. Just so you know, if you did happen to be arrested and charged for it, I would have talked right away. I don't doubt that. While I was held for questioning, you came to protest to the police many times. You even helped my mom in writing up a petition. I know better than anyone that you never intended to have me pay for your crimes. All you wanted was for this to be passed off as an accident. You didn't want anyone to be blamed. But that's wrong. Even if it was for just a moment, you had malicious intent. You can't just pretend that didn't happen. I can. Shin, you might have evidence of the crime, but not of the motive. I'm always going to say that it was an accident. I'm sorry for trying to hide it, but I didn't hurt her out of malice. There's no reason at all why I would want to hurt her. There is. Jealousy? Do you really remember? What happened back then? What did you say? And what happened because of it? Think back. Do you really intend to turn a blind eye to something you don't want to see? Is that really okay? Don't glare at me like that. You won't be able to move on. Is your relationship right now so important? You can't destroy that. Remember. What if I can't? You can't just yell at me and force me to remember. But this is a game, so of course we will because it's convenient. I'm sorry, it doesn't bother me. It's just that's not how real life works. Shin, back then, what I saw was... Dirili, there you are. Are you okay? Can you stand up? Shin, you came for me. Looks like you're out of it. The bleeding's pretty severe. You must have gotten cut by that glass bottle. This is exactly why it's bad to litter. Wait a second. Try not to move. Ow. Just holding it isn't enough to make the blood stop. I need to get you to a hospital right away. I'll carry you on my back. Hold on. Shin, you're really kind. Can you see me? I hurt all over. Everything's all hazy. I can't see you well, Shin. Why? Shin isn't kind enough. Don't you think so too? So why Shin? What are you saying? Why couldn't it be me? Toma! No way! Why would Toma do such a thing? Why? No, I need to forget this. This was just a mistake. I need to forget everything.
Looks like you managed to unseal your memories.
Orion.
Now I can finally return to where I belong. I can go home. You haven't remembered everything yet, but the thing sealing all your memories away is gone. You'll remember everything soon. A reliable knight is at your side after all.
Orion, you're leaving?
Yeah, I need to do my job. Once we finish separating, you'll forget all about me, but I'll never forget you. No matter where I am, I'll always be praying for you to be happy.
Thank you, Orion. I'll be praying for you to be happy too, Orion.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye, Orion. Do we always have the same conversation in each route? Dirili, are you okay? What the hell are you doing? You shouldn't just force someone to remember something they wanted to forget. You're always like this, Toma. You think everything's fine as long as you're protecting her. That's no good. No good at all. Dirili, did you remember? What happened? Can you talk? Yeah, but Toma is... I know you don't want Toma to hear this. But if you don't say anything, we won't know the truth. We need to know everything and see these crimes atoned for before we can move on, right? Do you really intend to let those responsible carry their sins for the rest of their lives? Go ahead. If you remembered, then there's no use in hiding it. Toma pushed me. I mistook Toma for Shin. He got mad and pushed me. Toma, do you You misunderstand. I just had my issues with Shin from a long time ago. I got angry when you confused us. Hey, you still spouting bull like that at a time like this? You're the one who always said lying can be the best thing to do in certain situations. It's the best thing to do sometimes, because it brings the best results to everyone involved. But when you try to hide something that's inconvenient to you, it's just a lie. What's wrong, Shin? This is the best path for me and for everyone else. That's why, no matter what you say, I'll always deny it. So, what will you do? You got anything else to throw at me? I got it. Then here's another piece of evidence. Here's pictures of her that I found in your room, among other things. What? I didn't want to bring this up if I didn't have to, but you're still making excuses. And how could he prove that he got those pictures from Toma's room? Wait a minute. How did you get your hands on that? I threw all that away. I snuck in and took a few before you disposed of them. I also took a photo of these sitting in your room. He could have planted them and took a picture. When did you... Oh, I see. It's when you took my wallet and said you'd go buy some drinks. You, of all people, would know that I keep my key in my wallet. That's right. You do realize you committed both theft and trespassing to get that, right? You can't use that as evidence. I know, but that's fine. Well, actually, illegal search and seizure is something that the police can't do, but if it was done by citizens, isn't it still submissible? I don't know. I don't really know the law, and especially since this is Japan, so they might be different over there. In fact, I intended to return these photos and items to you, as well as the other evidence. My goal was only to get you to admit what you had done from your own mouth. You weren't afraid that you'd actually be charged with the crime, did you? The thing you were afraid of was us finding out what you had done, wasn't it? You love her, so when she called you by my name, you couldn't control yourself and pushed her. You didn't want us to know that. You thought if you admitted it, you'd hurt us far more than it would hurt you. That's all there was to it, am I right? These are regular Sherlock Holmes. Or Herlock Sholmes, as some of us who've played Code Realize know him. My goal is already accomplished. Your goal is now impossible. I'm not interested in this evidence anymore. Throw it away, or give it to the police. Do whatever you want. It looks like I've lost. This is why I don't like competing with you. It can never just stay a game. I feel the same way. In the end, Dirili chose your theory. Toma, is this all true? Do you really... You mean the fact that I pushed you? Or that I love you? They're both true. Why are you hiding it? You already know the reason. I know, still. What, you want to humiliate him further? You love to lie, and at the same time, you have a hard time letting both the good and the bad coexist. You should just have left it as an accident. Then I could have just suffered with this guilt for the rest of my life alone. Your finding out about this has only hurt Dirili more. And if you found out exactly how much I was hurting, we'd all end up suffering with this guilt forever. But if we don't face the truth, we can't move on. Me, her, and you too, Toma. It's just like before, when I argued with you after her performance. I told you that what you said to her was too harsh. And I told you that what you were trying to do was sweep the truth under the rug and ignore what really happened. After that, I started desperately praying that she would be even better the next year, so that I could see her smile. And the next year was really amazing. You remember it too, right? She was like a different person. I believe that the gods heard my prayers and answered them. I thought it was a miracle. But when the performance ended, and I saw her rush over to you, smiling, I finally realized everything. I was beyond disappointed. What I had really hoped for was her to smile at me. The one who was actually thinking about her happiness was you, Shin. In the end, that event led you two to start dating. I guess the gods saw through my selfishness. That was what I was thinking the entire time. Also, Dirili, how do you not realize any of this until now? Before you and Shin started going out, I asked you so many times to go out with me, remember? No, I have amnesia! Back to that again. He did? I don't remember that. You probably said it really lightheartedly, like you usually do. Pretty much. I was scared. If she started avoiding me, I didn't know how I would continue to live my life. But I did say it many times. I wonder why you didn't realize how I felt. And while I couldn't escape the limits of being a childhood friend to you, Shin was able to manage doing so. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. I was pretty much risking my life. I was prepared to throw everything away. Toma, did you ever confess to her with that level of determination? No. The only reason you were able to do something like that is because you're impulsive. I had loved her for so long, but after being so close to her for that long, even as a sort of sibling, I couldn't risk it. Yeah, right. Even if I was in your position, I still would have confessed. The length of time you felt that way doesn't matter. Stop trying to come up with excuses for your cowardice. What are you trying to say with this, Shin? You lost the moment you decided you were too scared to take a risk for her. I couldn't give her up to someone like that. Yeah, you're right. Just rub it in. It's exactly as you said, and from a long time ago, I wanted to be able to do that like you. Hey, do you still remember when she started talking about marriage back when we were kids? I already liked her since way back then, and that's why I got flustered. Oh, he liked her since then? That's so cute. But even back then, you came in front of the sidelines and snatched her up. I don't remember. Wow. Yeah, well, you're that kind of guy. Dirili, do you remember? Memory time. Did that really happen? I remember proposing to you, Toma. But was that really the end of that story? Toma, when we grow up, we should get married. Huh? What? You too, Shin. We'll all be together forever. Okay, that sounds good. Wait, you two. You know you can only get married to one person, right? The most important person. 3 people can't do that. Why not? Why can't I have a harem? Come on. Really? But I like you both the most. That's no good. You'll have to choose one person someday. What? But...
Hey, don't cry. Then you should marry me. I'll be with you forever. Won't that be good? What? Why do you get to decide? Shin, you'll really marry me? Yeah, I like you the most after all. Thank you. I like you too, Shin. Aww. Let's be together forever. It's a promise. Yeah, it's a promise.
Oh, poor Toma. I remembered. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Toma. I can't believe I did that. It isn't your fault at all. It's not Shin's fault either. Although you were both just a tad slow. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? I'm the one who should apologize. I did something terrible to you, and I couldn't stop lying. I'm sorry. I caused a lot of suffering for Shin, too. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't know how much you've had to put up with until now. I don't even know how shocking it must have been for you to be mistaken for me. But regardless of the reason, you hurt her. I can't ever forgive that. You don't have to forgive me. In fact, you shouldn't. Clench your teeth. You're gonna punch him? Oh. That's how you forgive him? Toma! Ouch. Yeah, thanks for that, Shin. Don't think that hurt only for you, idiot. Yeah, I won't forget that. Anyway, I'll be paying a visit to the police. Mind if I take this evidence? You were giving it to me, right? Go ahead. Toma, we'll be waiting for you. Thanks. I guess we should go too. Where? It doesn't matter. Oh, I know. How about Crayfish Park? Where I first proposed to two guys? Where I first tried to start my harem? Did you not want to remember? Huh? Did I go too far? Didn't I just hurt the two of you? That's not true. Don't lie, me. I knew it would be painful for you, but I couldn't just leave the entire burden on Toma. I thought he would feel a little better if he could confess everything and apologize. He could finally put it in the past. I wanted him to atone for this and move on. I didn't want him to just keep making sacrifices himself and have to live with them. Yeah, I know. But it's still all my fault, because I've been monopolizing you since childhood. I stole you away. It put all that stress on him. Shin. And what's with him wanting to be more like me? He's got to be an idiot to think that. I'm the one who always wanted to be more like him. Seriously? I always thought that I could be kinder to you. I wish I could be, just like him. You could have been, why didn't you try? But I don't know how to do that. And I always end up hurting you. Toma's a lot more worthy than I am. I don't see at all how he could feel inferior to me. And besides, if I hadn't been so forceful with you, you wouldn't have fallen off that cliff. Oh, we're both crying together. If I hadn't done that, this incident might have never happened. It's all been my fault from the very start. Shin, that's enough. If I had realized how Toma felt about you, I would have taken a chance to think about him before confessing to you. If I had hesitated in confessing to you back then, maybe something might have changed for the better. How could that be? You might have even started seeing Toma in a different light, and chosen him instead. You wouldn't have wanted that. I'm the one who butted in insensitively, without knowing or thinking of anything. There's no mistaking that I'm the one who pushed him this far over the edge. I'm sorry. It's okay. But I couldn't just sit still when it came to you. Even if I knew this would be the result, I wouldn't have been able to help it. Even knowing I'd end up destroying everything, I still would have stolen you away. I was in love, and I didn't know what else I could do. Shin. It's alright if you blame me, but I'll never let you go. I'll make you so happy, even that idiot Toma will be able to laugh about all this. Haha! Remember that time I almost killed you when I pushed you and you hit your head against that rock? August 31st. My birthday again. Apparently, Toma isn't going to be prosecuted. Good, good. Really? It's not 100% certain yet, but the detective investigating me said that's how things are looking. I see. That would be nice. Even if he was prosecuted, it would just be for bodily harm. He's a first offender and he's showing remorse, so it shouldn't be too bad. I let Iki and Kent know about this, too. They both helped us out a lot, after all. And, of course, I told Sawa. I thought of telling Ukyo, but he's been out of contact for a while. I see. A lot of people helped us out. I hope Toma gets back quickly. When he does, this time we're hanging out, all three of us, okay? Yeah, I'll consider it. You really do like Toma, though. Why? What do you mean, why? Because Toma's like an older brother to me. Because he's kind, unlike me. If you realize that, you should make more of an effort to be kind. I want to, but I don't really know how. He's good at that kind of stuff, and that's why you're always smiling when he's around. It seriously makes me jealous, so I don't like having you nearby. That's why, huh? I'd be a lot happier if you treated me nicely, you know. How exactly? Maybe you could hold my hand. No way, that's embarrassing. Sacrifice! Compromise! See, you already aren't being nice. You call that kindness. I seriously don't get it. Even if you don't get it, you should just do it. It'd make me happy. Fine, give me your hand. Okay. And don't crush it. Be gentle. I can't take it. It's too embarrassing. Why? Because it's like we're in elementary school. I have memories of walking around with you like this. Oh, this is completely different from back then. It's no different. What's different about it? We're adults and this is a sign of affection? I can't really explain it. I just did. But you're going to be kinder, right? You could listen to what I want once in a while. Did I ever not listen to what you wanted? Well, I guess he always listened, he just never gave it to me. Tons of times! Like when? You once asked where I wanted to go. I said the zoo, and you said you didn't want to. That's where kids go. I was always asking to go in your room, but you never let me. Because he was hiding his instruments. I didn't want you to know I was practicing the bass until I got good at it. You never said I love you. What? Of course I have. You always add it to something else, like, it annoys me because I love you. Yeah, that totally sabotages the statement. You've never actually said it on its own. You already know what the deal is, so that should be enough. You always kiss me whenever you want to, but you never ask me when I want to. It's not very nice. We'll go to the zoo after I finish my exams. Shin looks particularly cute when he's embarrassed. He's so cute when he's blushing. You already found out about the bass, so you can come to my room. Also, I love you. It was still an add-on. Also, I love you. You added also. Oh, give me a break, I said it. Let it pass. He tried. It's probably the shortest add-on he's given us so far. I love you. I love you so much. I really do love you. Are you happy now, me? There, is that good enough? Yep, I love you too. Memories of Shin has been unlocked. But hope you join me in my next episode to see the other endings. I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.